If you are somebody who is dealing with arthritis pain, chances are you are trying to get rid of that pain quickly. If that is the case for you, I am so glad you are here for this video because I'm going to share with you a few things that you can do to reduce your arthritis pain and get you back to the life that you love living. But make sure to stay till the end of the video watching everything that we're going to talk about. Otherwise, your arthritis pain may never get fully better. So let's go ahead without wasting any more time, see what we're talking about. When it comes to what arthritis is, it is simply an inflammation of one or many of the joints. This can happen as one ages and usually does increase as one ages. So you're probably asking yourself, okay, inflammation, right? We need to manage that. There's a lot of different ways we can actually do that, and the rest of the video is going to detail some of those. The first, and honestly one of the most important things in regards to reducing arthritis pain, is actually getting proper movement. If you aren't consistently moving the joints around your body, whether it's your fingers, shoulders, etc., those joints are not getting synovial fluid, which brings blood flow, nutrients, and all sorts of good things into the joint that will ultimately keep it alive and strong forever. So if you are not moving day to day, doing physical activity, doing things that keep those arthritic joints moving, you're making a huge mistake. If you like this video so far, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos on reducing arthritis from happening and moving at all abilities. That was just one tip. Make sure to stay. We have 4 more that you need to be doing. Otherwise, you ultimately might have your arthritis pain never get fully better. Let's take a look at what they are. Next thing to consider when working with your arthritis pain is doing too much. Although we do need physical activity to move those joints, since doing some physical activity actually causes micro-inflammation in the joints, you can exacerbate it if you go over and above. So this is where knowing your current level of physical activity is super important, and knowing how much physical activity actually flares up that arthritis. So make sure you stay in a realm where you're getting enough physical activity, but not too much with your arthritis will flare up and get worse. But you could be doing both of those two first things, right? You could be being physically active. You could manage that physical activity super well. But if you're not doing these last 3 things, the first 2 are complete waste. That next thing that we are going to talk about is actually skipping medication. This is something you want to make sure you are not doing. If you are feeling good, if you are physically active and moving good, and you're like, man, my joints are good, I don't need to take my arthritis medication. If you have any, this is a huge mistake. People often do this, and then it'll hit them out of nowhere where it's like, oh my gosh, it's like weeks worth of pain in one day just because they forgot to take their medication. Even on days you are feeling good, make sure you are taking the medication you need, so you don't have to be reactive and get to that point where you're in a lot of pain. So the first 3 things done, right? Physical activity, we know it's good. We need to be physically activity at our own level, right? Third thing, we need to make sure we're taking our medications if we are. But if all those things don't pertain to you, these last 2 things, I promise you will. And you probably haven't heard of them. Those last 2 things begin with eating foods that are not high in inflammation. So let's actually talk about foods that are high in inflammation. Some of these can be fried foods, high sugary foods like candies and cakes, things like alcohol, very high in inflammation. Anything that's fried, right? These foods will lead to inflammation in the body, which will ultimately increase your overall arthritis. So if we're trying to reduce arthritis, we need to eat stuff like fruits and vegetables, lean meats, things that don't make us feel bad. You'll probably notice when you start tracking the different foods you eat, some foods will make you feel better in your arthritis and some won't. So this is something that you are going to have to personally kind of work around with and take some note of. But of course, the first 4 things will be completely useless if you don't take this last thing into consideration. And the last thing that will ultimately help you to reduce the risk of developing worse arthritis is getting enough sleep. Sleep is incredibly important in reducing overall inflammation in our entire body. So if you are lacking on sleep, you are just asking for your arthritis to come back. Make sure you are getting a proper amount of sleep for you. This is going to differ for everyone, but a good rule of thumb is 7 to 9 hours of time in bed. Remember, when you are sleeping, anytime you get up in the night, move and shift, that's not time you're sleeping. So if you're in bed for 7 to 9 hours, you're probably only going to be sleeping about 6 to 8. Keep that in mind. These are just a few of many ways that you can treat your arthritis and ultimately reduce it forever. Make sure to do all of these, otherwise there will be a complete waste of time, because even just doing one of them might not be enough. Make sure to like the video and subscribe for more videos on reducing arthritis pain, moving for all abilities, and just living the best life for yourself. If you're interested, we do have some low impact exercise programs down in the description that you can go and view for yourself. I've used these for a lot of seniors and individuals with disabilities that I work with, keeping them fit and overall moving for a bigger and better life. Thank you again so much for watching the video, and make sure to check out the next video that YouTube's gonna recommend for you from my channel right now. I'm out of it, to tell me you know